Hello and welcome once again. This is Walker Tea Review and I'm Jason Walker. We've got teas to look at. This is our personal journal, our walk through the world of teas. A recent article I posted on 3 books about tea that people are giving me feedback already, saying it's useful. They're sending through Twitter, they're leaving posts on the blog. Thanks for those, keep them coming. Today we have a tea from Mighty Leaf. It is a Oolong. We have a dainty little teapot here. This is about a 6-ounce pot we're going to be using. It's a traditional style clay teapot. We do tea tasting so that we appreciate the teas, we enjoy the teas together, we make notes and learn about the teas. So this is your chance to do those things with us. We have our basic equipment with us. We've got our pot, our water that's been warmed to a light boil. We have aroma cups. These are a little bit different, not always used, but they're especially handy for oolongs. We've got a glass that we're using, and this is a clear wine style glass that allows us to kind of look at the colors together. So that's the purpose of that. Let's go ahead and get this started. If you are making notes, this would be a good time to start making notes of your dry leaf. And you want to look at the aromas, make notes on that. You want to also talk about colors and shapes. Now, as we're doing that though, you also want to take about, if you leveled this out, this would be about a full, this is about a full tablespoon, rounded over. And we're going to dump it into our small pot, about, like I said, about holds about 6 ounces of water. We're going to spread that out, and as you'll see, it will coat most of the bottom of this, and that's okay because with oolongs that are tightly rolled like that, they're going to unfurl. We're going to get the water going in these, and so that we can let it steep and then set it aside. Okay, get that closed up. There are different styles of teapots, and this is a style. The precise name escapes me at the moment, but I know that this rounded shape actually, to the artists, the makers, and collectors, resembled a breast, and so this one has the Chinese word for breast in it, actually. Lots of interesting names in teapots if you ever become a teapot collector. Now that we've set our teapot aside, we want to give that some time to steep. We can go ahead and talk about our dry leaf and talk about this tea. Again, this is Mighty Leaf's tea. This is a Jade Oolong. 4 ounces retails for $28.95. It is considered a competition grade according to the website, and it is from Anxi province. Now, a lot of Jade Oolongs, or the use of the word jade to describe oolongs, a lot of those kind of teas also come from Taiwan. So you've got a wide range of areas, selection of areas where this kind of tea can come from. I would say my research of online retailers, a majority of them come from Taiwan or were derived from Taiwan, may have been transplanted into China afterwards. Okay, but having kind of given a basic introduction, again, if you're ready to kind of join along with us, if you've made your notes about the dry leaf, we're going to be doing that for ourselves. So first off, we do want to talk about some of our notes about our aromas. Now, first off, I'm getting a kind of a sweetness to it, which I associate with kind of if you've ever smelled a lotus flower, if you've ever smelled the pods, the dried lotus pods, it's actually dried and it's almost honeycomb shaped with the dried seeds resting inside the round pod there. Those are some of the sweet notes that come off of this. So it's kind of a vegetal sweet. Other things. This one, I'm recovering from a cold and things are smelling a little bit different. At this point, I'm detecting there's a bit of an age coming off of this. It's not a fresh floral. I'm detecting notes that are associated with, and there's no other word to describe this, but an older or one that's been exposed to more air, that's had some age on the leaf after it's dried. They're also a little bit of a kind of a roasted aroma, so that I've picked that up as well. There's a slight toasted element to this. Okay. Now, as we look at our leaf, you also note. Let's get a couple of these guys out. Have them here. You will notice that these are tightly wrapped, rolled like paper wads. So we've got lots of we've got some shape there. What you'll also see is that these are, as these are wrapped, there are some stems that these two leaves, or sometimes one leaf, two leaves wrapped around that. And these are colors that range from a kind of lime color to a myrtle color. So that gives us the basic introduction of our leaf, something that you want to make notes of yourself, especially those colors. Color descriptions can be very handy as comparing different teas from different sources. Okay, so we are next going to be looking at our wet leaf. And to look at our wet leaf, of course, we're going to have to pour this off. I'm going to get my tea towel out. We're going to pour into the aroma cup, let that build up some aroma, because it's a convenient way to smell. You often smell from the taller cup, sip from the shallower, or the wider cup, I should say, yeah. So I'm going to start with our cup, so you'll see how we do this. We pour into our tall one. Don't get all the way up to the top, because what's going to happen is we cap it with this, and then when we turn it over, we don't want it to be to the brim, of course, of our sipping cup here. So set that aside, and we'll pour the rest into our regular wine glass. Now you notice a lot of your cups, a lot of your pots will have a hole in the lid at some place, and that's to allow the air to enter so that you get a smoother pour. You can upset your pour if you accidentally cover up that little hole. Now that has gotten all of our liquor out. We'll be able to look at our liquor in just a moment. If you want to make notes of the wet leaf, this is now your time to make notes of the color, the change in shape as these have unfurled, and aromas. So first thing we're going to do is talk about our aromas. We're going to stick our nose in and get a few sniffs. Lots of steam coming out here, so we're going to be cautious at first. Now, some of the things I noticed in previous steepings and in this steeping, because you want to kind of get a range of experiences, some things may come up depending on the fluctuations that you experience in steep time, water temperature, amount of leaf used, even vessel that you use, container that you use to steep in. So you want to give them a variety to make sure that you've uncovered everything possible from a leaf and a tea. I did uncover a kind of buttery texture to this, almost like a artificial butter salt aroma that you would use on popcorns. You might find in movie theaters. There's a buttery note to this. Okay. Other things that we're going to do, of course, is look at our leaf, so we can talk about that some. Anything else I'm getting at this point? Not anything new or different from that. So I'm going to pull out a few leaves, so that if you're making notes as well, you can continue to make your own notes about the leaf shape. I'm trying to pull out a few solid leaves. That one's mostly solid, so we'll be able to use that. I'm also looking for what we also found was, yes, here we are. You will get, okay, this one's a little different. Let me make sure I'm not getting any extra leaves here. What we're getting a stem. You'll see this as well. You're getting a stem with the two, looks like the two youngest leaves, and a tip. Yeah, or yeah. So you get two young leaves. Sometimes you will also get young, complete separate leaves as well. Colors that you're getting are also anywhere, or include things like a yellow green, a dark yellow green. So we've talked about our wet leaf. Got some large size leaves there. We've got pairs of leaves rolled together. We've got individual leaves rolled. We've got aromas. We've talked about those buttery type aromas. So let's go ahead now. Let's use our aroma cup to kind of get a better idea of some smells from our liquor. Now again, when we talk about our liquor, we do want to be able to talk about the aromas that come off the liquor, the texture of it. Is it smooth? Is it creamy? How does it feel in your mouth? Is it watery? You want to talk about any aftertastes? Do aromas that you first smell and taste carry out through your mouth? Or does it kind of carry along to something else? You also want to make notes about astringency. If astringency is important to you, astringency and bitterness can also give you clues as to the relative quality of the leaf. Usually with a lot of teas, lower bitterness, lower bitterness, I would especially say, indicates that this is a higher quality tea. So we've got our aroma cup here, and first thing we're going to do is, the trick of course is to flip it over quickly. Then you kind of want to angle your cup to the side and give it a kind of twisting motion as you lift to break that vacuum in there, and then you want to smell. Yeah, I'm still getting those buttery notes in the aroma. So let's go ahead now and give it a taste and see if that carries into our palate as we taste it. Give this a nice good sip. Let the air come in and draw it up so that it goes throughout the mouth, and also kind of let it swirl and coat the taste buds as well. Let's get another one. Traditionally, a cup like this was usually savored in 3 sips. We're going to do that one in 2. Now, yes, buttery notes are still there. Smooth texture. Not the creamiest per se, but not watery either. So this would be a light brothy, very light brothy. Aftertastes are fairly consistent. What I got from the front of this was also what I got from the back. Let's give this one, let's also talk a little bit about color here. So when we hold this up, get out a little bit of a white background so that you can kind of look at that that goldenrod type yellow color there. You can see that one as well. Also, you can kind of use a larger one, stick your nose in and get aromas from that as well. A little bit, I'm still getting, it does, I would say this, the aftertaste tended to fade ever so slightly more or faster than some other oolongs in general. Especially, no, I'm not going to compare it to any specific other oolong. So to kind of wrap this up, the question then becomes is, how does this compare to other oolongs? As we said at the beginning, a lot of the term jade oolong is associated with Taiwan teas. And again, we said this one was from Anxi. Now, if you look at the descriptions of a lot of your jade oolongs, you're looking for notes of things like a floral sweetness, which did not really come to bear in this particular tea. So as we said, there were those buttery type notes, which gives us something closer to like a milk scented oolong. So this tea to me is confused. Is it milk? Is it like a milk scented, or is this comparable to the traditional use of the term, or the more common use of the term, jade oolong? Because it doesn't toe either line, then we're left with to give this one the score of somewhere around 81, just because it doesn't classify. It has its value. There were things to appreciate about it, but does it represent itself properly? I don't know. I'm not convinced that it does. You may want to give your own feedback as to, one, how does this tea taste to you? And two, how does it compare with other jade oolongs that you may have tasted or come across? And again, this is Jason Walker. We looked at Mighty Leaf's Jade Oolong on Walker Tea Review.